Have you ever felt like life knocked you so hard you doubted your ability to get back up? Maybe you lost a job, your business failed, or you made a mistake that cost you everything. Listen, I get it. When outcomes are at variance to our expectations, we tend to attribute them to failure. However, failure is just a learning experience. It's not the final verdict. Plus, if you reframe your perspective, it might just be the setup to your biggest comeback. My name is Shinwakin Lotur, your favorite life coach dedicated to helping upwardly mobile business and career women bloom in all aspects of life. In today's video, I'm sharing how to reinvent yourself and bounce back like a boss. Let's dive in. First things first, how do you define failure? When you think about failure, what comes to your mind? Do you think failure means that you are not enough? Or do you say to yourself, I'm just going to quit? Well, failure is just feedback of what doesn't work. And it gives you that opportunity to go back to the drawing board to re-strategize so that you can move closer to what would work. Many years ago, my mom had multiple thriving stores. It was a beautiful sight for me to behold, especially considering our humble beginnings. If there was one person who deserved to lounge on the beach all day, it would be my mom. She was a hard worker. I watched my mom build things out of nothing. That was how powerful my mom was. Then one day, we heard news that a road expansion project was going to affect a couple of our stores, meaning that a couple of our stores that she worked assiduously to build were going to be demolished. I was genuinely terrified for my mom. I didn't know how she would take the news. In fact, I stayed away from my mom for a couple of days. I stopped picking her calls because I wasn't sure what to say to her or how she will react. And then after a couple of years, I had the privilege to travel to Nigeria. I walked into my mom's store and I was blown away. My mom reinvented herself from a major setback. Beyond my mom, let's consider other examples. Each time I go to the store and I see any product that is made by Vera Wang, I'm just blown away because she makes exceptional products. But then I took time to read about her. I discovered that she originally wanted to become an Olympic skater, but today Vera Wang is one of the most successful fashion designers in the world. How about Oprah Winfrey? Oprah Winfrey that we know today, that we celebrate today, she was fired from her first TV job. That job was supposed to be the job she would go to until retirement. She wanted to really be there so that she can retire there, but she was fired from that job. However, Oprah, being who she is, did not allow that to deter her. She was able to bounce back like a boss that she is. The point is, failure is not the end. It is the beginning of reinvention if you are open to bouncing back like a boss. The question then is, how exactly do you bounce back like a boss? I'll share some strategies with you. 1, feel it, but don't stay there. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated when something doesn't turn out the way you had expected it to. However, what is not okay is staying there. Don't stay there. You can cry for about 24 to 72 hours. But after that, it's time to move on. It's time to reinvent yourself. 2, own it and analyze what went wrong. As a life coach, I work with people around the world, and I feel like this is one area that a lot of people struggle with. It's easier to play the blame game when things go wrong or when outcomes are at variance to our expectations. However, there's always a part that we play. So it's important that when things don't go the way that you expected them to go back to the drawing board, analyze things. What went wrong? What can you improve on? Who do you need to speak with? 3, pivot, but don't quit. What do I mean by this? Sometimes you might have an idea that failed. It doesn't mean the idea is bad. It might just mean that the process in which you went through it is wrong or needs to be tweaked. So it's okay. Just know that at that point, pivot. Pivot is the best thing you can do. You can pivot for a little bit and then come back to it so that you gain more clarity by doing that instead of giving up entirely on your idea. 4, I wish I could actually list this 1 million times, and that is surround yourself with winners. Listen, it's almost impossible to rebuild in the environment that broke you. So you need to learn how to surround yourself with coaches, mentors, and people who have accomplished things you're trying to accomplish. They would inspire you. They will uplift you. They will help you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's important that you surround yourself with winners. It's important that you surround yourself with people who are making things happen. And no, these people cannot always be at your beck and call. You might have to initiate contact. You might have to seek someone else to introduce you to someone that would help you to move forward in the direction of your dreams. 5, keep moving. It's tempting to want to stop when things are not working our way, but the most important thing you can do for yourself is to keep moving. Remember that failure is never permanent until you throw up your hands in the air and say, I quit. Your comeback is loading if you are willing to keep moving. Let me share a quick story about my own experience with failure. Over a decade ago, I applied to a job I had always wanted. I went through multiple rounds of interviews and finally, I got the call that said, you got the job. Yes! You can imagine, I was elated, ecstatic. I called my parents to break the news to them. I called my family members, my friends, and well-wishers. It was a moment that I felt God had indeed answered my prayers. 2 weeks after that, I was on a train back home from downtown when I received a call saying that the organization had declined to proceed with my onboarding. How can you go from high to low in the split of a second? I went through that. I cried, I wept. I didn't even go to church that weekend. It was a Friday. I didn't go to church that weekend. But on Sunday night, I encouraged myself in the Lord. I decided to go back to my then current job. It was a lot for me to pull off, especially because news had already traveled that I got a new offer. So when I walked into my director's office that Monday morning, he looked me in the eye and said, go back to your cubicle. We didn't want you to leave anyway. It was a relieving moment for me, but it was hard. It was really, really hard. A few months after that, I got another opportunity within that organization, and I was able to get another role, which, do you know how God works? What happened was when I got that other role, the salary or the compensation that I was supposed to get at the new job was the exact same thing that I got in the new role. Then I knew that God was with me. I also learned a lesson that it's okay to fail as long as you don't stay where you are, as long as you keep things moving. Now, I want to hear from you. Which failure made you stronger? And if you found value in this video, I welcome you to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because next week I'll be sharing on the Smart Woman's Guide to Making More in 2025. You don't want to miss it. Remember, your setback is a setup for your comeback. Keep going, never quit, keep going. Thank you.